Welcome to Milkweed Care with Fluttering Dreams Butterfly Ranch.
Okay,
so this plant needs to have some new growth encouraged. This is one that I need to cut back so that it gets bushier and fuller. You can see that there's actually 3 major plants in this pot. So we're going to separate them, put them in individual pots, and we're going to prune back the plant to encourage new growth. A couple of things that we're going to pay attention to when we're doing this is caterpillar eggs, baby caterpillars, aphids, and ladybugs. So we're going to pay attention to all of those things as we're doing this work. The first thing we're going to do, because it's going to be easier to deal with the plants once we prune them back, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prune them back. And I have a couple of different size shears. I have the larger shears that are going to be better for the thicker stalks. And then I have the smaller shears, which are going to be better for the thinner stalks and or leaves. So we're going to start with this one here. What I like to do is I like to leave at least 2 nodes on the plant. So there's 1, 2. This one I'm actually going to cut down to the 3rd one. A lot of people don't cut it until they get to the first leaf. I found that it works either way. So we're going to do a mixture of it on this plant, okay? So we're going to take this one here right by where the 2 new leaves are growing out, and we are going to cut the stalk without disturbing those 2 new leaves. We're going to cut it at an angle. Cutting it at an angle is healthier for the plant and it helps to encourage new growth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to inspect this piece that we cut off. You can see that the little black and brown spots, that is what's called rust. That is a fungus on the plant. In Florida we have it a lot. Not a whole lot you can do about it except for pruning back or using pesticides. I don't use pesticides because I have an all-natural organic butterfly garden. So I'm not seeing any eggs on this. I'm seeing aphids, but I'm not seeing any monarch eggs. Oh, there's one right there. So this one is about ready to hatch. Let's see if I can put my... See it right there? It's a dark black egg. That one's ready to hatch. So I don't want to get rid of this stalk. I want that little egg to have the benefit of growing up, right? So there's one egg. And that is the only one that I see. So what we're going to do is we're going to save that egg. So we're going to prune right here at the tip where that egg was at. I cut it off. And because we don't want the rust affecting the rest of our garden, we're just going to trim off all of these leaves. Because none of them had caterpillars on them. This, I'm just going to take this whole stalk off. And I'm going to kill that one aphid right there. So you can see I still have my one little egg that looks like it's going to be born probably in the next day or 2. So I'm going to stick this in water and give that little egg the opportunity to become a caterpillar. Okay, now we're going to take another one. This one, I saw one that was going to be fun to do. And let me see, where was it at? Alright, there was a baby caterpillar. And I saw him, big as day. Oh, there he is. Okay. So now we're going to take the next one, right, which is going to be this one. This right here, this is nice healthy growth right here. I kind of like that. So I'm going to prune this one right at this new healthy growth. I'm going to cut it just above, see? Nice healthy growth right there. But looky here, so this is where we're going to inspect. We're looking for eggs and caterpillars. Look at there. That is a baby monarch caterpillar. Do you see him? He is right there. And they're easy to locate because you can see when his egg was born, he ate right through the leaf. That's what that big hole is. And now that's a small little caterpillar. Well, we want to keep that caterpillar, don't we? So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and we're going to get rid of these aphids that are on here by just kind of squishing them with my fingers. And this one leaf has rust on it. We're just going to pick that off. We're going to leave the seed pods because the seed pods actually have silk in them that little caterpillar is going to love to have for lunch. I'm just going to break off these ones here. Okay, so now this looks really good. What we're going to do with this, so I've got these little holders that hold these little test tubes. This one holds, I believe it's 6 or 8 test tubes. And so the test tube has a small hole in the top and it's filled with water. So we're going to take this and we're just going to stick it right down in there. And that caterpillar is going to have a fresh milkweed until he eats all those leaves off of there. We're going to set him over to the side. We might find another one, you never know. Okay, so we're going to trim this one. We're going to take it back to the second node. We're going to cut it off. Now this is why they call it milkweed. If you look really close, the milk is literally coming out of it. And I'll wipe it off with my finger, see? That's the milkweed. It looks just like milk. And that is why they call it milkweed. I mean, it looks just like milk that you would drink. And the more you push and squeeze on this, the more milk is going to come out of it. Let's see, what's on this one? I see, that's a good case of rust right there. But if I look closely, although there's rust on there, there's also a monarch egg right. Once again, is a monarch egg that is ready to hatch. So we're going to save him with the other one that we had. But we're going to cut off some of these leaves that are not healthy for him. Although he's not on a healthy leaf, as soon as he's born, he's going to leave that leaf and head for a healthy leaf. So we're going to take off the aphids off of there. Just running my finger across them. We're going to stick him in here with the spren. The reason I like these size test tubes is because you can see I can clearly put 2 stalks in there. If it's a fatter stalk, I can only put 1. So now we have an egg and a little caterpillar. Back to pruning our plant. We're going to take this one. Here is 1, 2, 3 nodes. So that looks good to me. We're going to cut it off right there. Once again, look at the milk coming out. Let's inspect this one. I see nothing on this but ugly aphids. So they're going to go into the bleach water. And our next one. I don't see anything on that one except for aphids, so going in the bleach water. So this one has a hole where somebody's been eating, so I'm going to look at this one really, really close, right? Because, see that hole? Somebody had lunch. So we're going to look really, really close. Make sure that there's not a very, very small caterpillar on this stem that I cut off, right? So we're going to start here at the bottom, and we're going to work our way up. And I see our little guy already. He's there. Hold on and I'll get you to him. He's pretty exciting. He's tiny. I'm going to kill these aphids with my finger while I'm here, because I don't want to kill all of these leaves I got going on. Okay, our little caterpillar. He is really small. He's really tiny. You're going to have to look really close to see him. I'm going to work really hard to make sure that it stays focused. He is right at the tip of those shears. You see him? He just moved his head. Can you see him? See, he ate these holes here, and there he is right there. He is itty bitty small. He is teeny tiny small. So what I'm going to do, I'm very gently going to put some water to get those aphids off. I'm going to very gently rinse these aphids off that I got here so that I don't disturb my little guy. We're going to cut his stem a little shorter because we don't need all this. See, he's on a big old long stem. We don't need all that. We're just going to cut the stem shorter so that we just have him, and we're going to put him in the test tube as well. Now we have 2 caterpillars and an egg. Moving right along. And you can see this plant has been pruned back before. And one thing that you have to watch for when you're looking for the caterpillars when you're pruning, sometimes they're literally on the stem as well, so you have to watch really close. So there is an egg. There is an egg right there. The tip of those shears, you see that little white egg right there? We're going to get these rust off. We have a hole where somebody's been eating, so there's probably another very small caterpillar on here. We're just going to cut those aphids off the top. We're going to cut the stem. Once again, we have another one for our test tubes, and we're moving right along. Okay, so I had separated the 3. These were 3 that were in a pot together, and it was like this. It was like this. First thing I did was prune it all back so that there's 3 separate plants in this pot. So I took them out and I separated them. You see how root bound they were, right? And I just gently worked on it. Less than 5 minutes. I pulled the dirt out, pulled out, you know, the extra roots, and so now we have 3 plants. We're going to put them in separate pots now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up the pot about a little more than halfway. So I've got 2 separate size pots here. They're both, I filled them up a little bit more than halfway. Let me get some more dirt. This one needs a little bit more in it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to water them down. I'm going to water the dirt down really good. Really good. I don't want it to be mud, but I do want it to be soupy. And I do want all of the dirt wet. So I've got a stick, and I'm going to stir it up. Not quite wet to the bottom. I'm going to add some more water. And there's holes in the bottom, so the extra water is going to run out. It's not... Needs a little bit more still. Using a little bit higher pressure so that it will get down into the other dirt, you know, to the dirt on the bottom. Okay, so you can see it's quite muddy. Okay, that's what we want. We want it nice and wet. And we're going to do this one the same way. Nice and wet. Perfect. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our root starter. I don't know where my root starter went. I thought I knew one, but I don't know where it is. I like the powdered kind. We're just going to shake some in there. Shake it all around in there. That container's empty when you knew it. You can see how much I put in there. Not a whole lot, but enough that the plant is going to have nourishment. We're going to take our plant. We're going to sit it right down in there. This one here, I think I'm going to cut some of these roots off. They're a little, let's cut off some of those excess there, just to give it a little bit more chance. There's a big wad of them there. I'm only loosening it up with my fingers, that's all. And you can see they're coming off. Then we're going to set it down in there, and we're just going to fill up the rest of the pot with dirt. I like to kind of lift it up a little bit, get the air out down there. Need a little bit more dirt in there. Kind of lift him up a little bit, kind of pat the dirt down around in the bottom. Put enough dirt on the top so that he feels nice and firm. If the plant doesn't feel like it's standing up on its own, you need to pat the dirt down a little bit harder. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our fertilizer, and I like to use organic fertilizer without pesticides in it. We're just going to put some little pebbles around it. We're going to water it in. Give it plenty of sun. And this is an example of one that I did last month. So I cut it all the way back. You can actually see where I cut them back. I cut the whole plant back, the whole plant. Every stem I cut back, just like even the small ones, just like you saw I cut them back on that other plant. And that's how bushy it's going to get.
Thanks for joining us here at Fluttering Dreams Butterfly Ranch. We hope this video has helped you learn how to take care of your milkweed. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.